And you didn't already sign in on the sign-in sheet, we're going to have a sign-in sheet, so you can send out an email to your teacher saying that you were here, and that way you get credit.
It's $9 billion in school bonds. Basically, Prosecute One, like I said, authorizes $9 billion in general obligation bonds to be used for the construction and modernization of K-12 public schools, charter schools, vocational educational facilities, and California community colleges. So of that, $7 billion will go through the K-12 public school facilities, and the rest of the $2 billion will go for the community college facilities. So I've gotten some questions about that one. One of the questions is, will it raise our taxes? How does this affect our economy? It's basically, as it says right there, going to be distributed in bonds that are going to be paid over, I think it's like 30 years. And every year, $500 million is going to be paid with interest. Of that, less than 1% is from our general budget. So it's not going to raise anything, it's not going to cost much. It just basically states where that money is going to go. And a yes vote means that, yes, the state could sell the $9 billion in obligation bonds, and the no just says it would not have the authority to sell it. So it can go both ways, but that's basically what the bond says. And more emphasis on this because, yes, it does distribute money to the California community colleges.
This is 7 Pony Road. For proposition, we have Prop 51 for schools and support it. And yes, students, please get out there and support this proposition. Renovations for modernizing school buildings will occur. And be sure to oppose more campuses and more new buildings. Show school districts that we have enough buildings on planet Earth, and they need to find one for that school. What do I think about that? Well, a lot of things are going to happen in this planet, in this world anyway.
Proposition 52. Yes, medical hospital free will help continue funding for public hospitals. Proposition 53. Ready? No on Proposition 53. Revenue bonds statewide will not need voter approval, saving money because we won't need an election.
They want it published 72 hours on the internet.
They're really attacking that mechanism.
I
just want to explain that.
Well, I just want to say that what Harry says is true, but what's even worse is they have this little thing about gutting and amending.
That's the term. That is
They
exactly
will
what
take an existing bill, and they will entirely gut it and put it in something else entirely having nothing to do with the original bill. They do that in Sacramento, and it's disgusting.
explaining it is that there is a mechanism that you can make amendments when you're at the state legislation to change it. So what happens is they will post 72 hours of a bill doing X, Y, and Z. However, with this mechanism, they can amend that and not give the 72 hours for the public to look at what the amendments were. So I just wanted to clarify that I'm not weighing in one way or the other. I'm just saying that by state law, the Brown Act requires 72 hours posting.
I've been.
Tax on the wealthy. They said it was until 2018. And if you will recall, the wealthy people in this state didn't object to that happening. It was their feeling, I think, from what I've heard and from what wealthy people I know, that they had a responsibility to help. Now you take a bill that's supposed to expire, that you said would only last this long, and you extend it 12 years. To me, that is wrong. I don't care what the money is to be used for. The state accomplished what it wanted to accomplish with that, with that period of years already. I don't think that it's justified to say, okay, now we'll just continue this and do something else with the money.
That's a good opinion. That's a valid opinion.
I think I support your opinion.
The sales tax that was increased will sunset in 2018, and that sales tax applied to all of us.
The sales taxes are regressive anyway.
So, but my personal thing is, if they're gonna need the money, I'd rather have the people that can afford it easier pay the extra for the extra 12 years than the legislature coming on down and saying everybody has to pay more in taxes. And I think that, you know, individually we have to, as people who vote, have to make our own decisions on it. Right or wrong, yes or no. That's all, you know, pretty much what you can. And I can certainly support what you're saying. When it's time to sunset, let it sunset. That seems to be a logical thing.
And activism, we do everybody's part. All right, Proposition 56. If you're worried about your children smoking cigarettes, if they raise it $2 a pack, I think that you won't have as much to worry about. Cigarette tax to fund health care, tobacco use prevention, research, and law enforcement initiative constitutional amendment and statute. This will increase the cigarette tax to $2 per pack, with the equivalent increase on other tobacco products and electronic cigarettes. The fiscal impact: additional net state revenue of $1 billion to $1.4 billion in 2017-18. And they'll use it for more health studies. We will have safer products and more use of other amendments. Well, I'll just
majority for the bond measures.
Okay.
They need.
A lot of support.
Yeah, they need a supermajority.
Okay.
Whereas the initiatives for laws and constitutional amendments just need a simple majority.
50% plus one. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention, this is a state constitution amendment. This is what we were talking about before. This would override the lawmakers. So even if we pass this, this will amend the state constitution to require this going forward. Okay? All right, Prop 54.
So this proposition is a bill. It just says that a bill must be printed and legislative procedures must be recorded and posted online for 3 days before legislators can vote on the bill, and changes will be put on California's constitution. So right now, the state laws are introduced as a bill, and legislators debate about it and make change to it, and those changes can be made whenever, as long as it's before it's voted in. And many public meetings and bills are already online, but not all of them. And a yes on the proposition gives voters more access to the legislative process, and it makes legislators that are, it makes sure that legislators are working for the voters and not special interests. And then no introduces new restrictions on ways laws are crafted by legislators. It will slow down ability for legislators to develop bipartisan solutions to most problems. And then if you want to research more about it, go to the website.
Any questions or input from anybody on the? Yes, sir.
If there is an emergency, so say something
Basically, the big writing on this is the measure gives every person in California the authority to sue adult film performers and other workers, violates their privacy, and reduces workplace safety.
Don't watch.
Don't watch. Also another thing to think about, and it's already, in LA County, you're already supposed to wear a condom.
Yes.
That's been around for a couple of years. In Southern California, it's a $9 billion industry. So there are a lot of people that would lose their job if this goes away. So I oppose it. I think that a freedom of speech, freedom of expression, if they're not gonna, if the law is not gonna get them for prostitution, I don't see what problem it is. So I think the right of freedom of expression is pretty big here. Number 61, this is no position. It would change the standards by which state agencies negotiate the price of and pay for prescription drugs. Yes, it's true. It only applies to about 18% of the citizens of California. It is absolutely untrue in every form to believe that drug prices for veterans will go up 1 penny. The state of California, outside of Medi-Cal and Medicaid, this is a program that it's not part of Medi-Cal, it's not part of Medicaid, it's part of what the state pays for some people to get their medications. It could be in prisons, it could be in mental hospitals, it could be in any way of the form. But it's not part of Medicaid, it's not part of Medicare. And what it says is the state will pay no more.
61 propaganda flyer in the mail. I didn't get mine, maybe it's in my post office box. It doesn't say it will, it said might be less willing. That's a big difference from will.
Yeah, because we're just 18% of the state of people in the state of California who receive aid. And we're just one of 50 states. So I don't think this little state situation is going to go against the VA raising prices. So Nick is absolutely right. They use the word could and they use the word might. Nobody, even in the commercials, said it will with any kind of veracity. They don't know. Nobody knows.
So you're recommending a no on it?
To stay on. It's too costly. It costs more to kill somebody in the state of California than to keep them alive for the rest of their life. And we don't even know how we'd kill them in the first place, because we can't kill them with chemicals, and we can't kill them with gas chamber anymore, and we can't electrocute them, can't shoot them, can't hang them. No. I think it's finally time that all Californians put to bed, put to rest, and bury the death penalty in California.
And I think most people in this room know that a disproportionate number of blacks, Hispanics, and other minorities are.
Yes, and it's unequally applied all the time.
And in different counties, like Riverside County, really goes with the death penalty.
And how many innocent people have they killed in the name of our state? So I think we're all in agreement. That's a yes. We're going to get rid of the death penalty. Number 63, the Democratic Party supports. It's a two-part bill. It is there are tons of arguments, and you know the NRA is going against this one. The first part, it is going to ban the sale in the state of magazines that carry more than 10 rounds. Right now you can buy a magazine that carries 10 rounds, up to 10 rounds in the state of California legally. The downside of this, I've heard from gun nuts, is that homosexuals, we call them, is that basically what they'll do to get around this law is they will buy the pieces for these magazines in pieces and put them together when they get them. So that's one of the little loopholes. But that's the first thing. It bans magazines of higher than 10 rounds. The second part requires people to get a certificate or a license for up to $50 to be able to purchase ammunition. It also requires background checks of those people, and background checks of people selling ammunition. This is something I've personally been saying for a long time. You can't, the Second Amendment talks all about guns, and that's fine, but we need to think about the ammunition. And I think we do have a way to rein in the terror that we're having too many times by lots of people. So the Safety for All Act, I support, and I hope you do too. Number 64. Marijuana. It will allow the recreational growth and use. You can grow it, you can use it, of small amounts of marijuana, and it will tax the heck out of everything. It'll tax it whether you're buying a bud. It'll be a tax if you're buying a flower, if you're selling it, if you're manufacturing it. Tax it up the wazoo. They don't have yet an absolute determination of who gets what money, but it's going to be a lot of money, and it's going to go hopefully mostly to local people, and they have said that it would be distributed for drug research, treatment, and enforcement and of existing laws or the new laws, and it will also benefit health care, local health care, and education funds. I support it. I don't doubt that I'd ever use it again, but it doesn't seem fun for me anymore. But I don't see why it won't. And it will certainly help people who are in trouble.
In pain.
If you're in pain,
CBD gold, yeah.
in medical marijuana, but it makes possession of non-medical marijuana even easier to get, easier to establish, no more card. And so I actually support this quite a bit, and I'll be voting yes on it.
Right now.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready. This organization right here, by billionaires to control and regulate marijuana. If you want to help that the rules can be redesigned, therefore, of course, then vote for it. I'm gonna tell you what. Now, I need the green. The green helps me. You know, the green keeps me alive. The green keeps me from suicide. The green is holy. It came from the Garden of Eden. I'm gonna tell you the real story. Now, when that fruit was bitten on the tree, and we had to get kicked out, you know, my ancestors told the Father, can we take something with us that can at least help us out in the outside world? He said, take anything you want to take. So what it was, you know, it was Mother Green. So, you know, we took Mother Green. That's the reason why the green helped us live. It gets rid of cancer. It prevents diseases. It helps you live longer. It heals you physically, spiritually, mentally. It's called holy weed. Now, if you don't vote for this right here, for us to smoke holy weed and make it a lifestyle, you might end up not living that long. But if you vote for it, you will end up living that for a very long time. So, let me tell you what, I'm going to support and vote for us to smoke this holy weed. Holy weed is my best friend. We've been knowing each other for a very long time. It saved my life, it will save your life. Vote for that holy weed. Marijuana is the business. Gotta keep that green.
7, and you read in Ballotpedia, it says something a little different.
But my understanding is that you have to have a no on 65 and a yes on 67. If you have more yeses on 65 than on 67, then 65 carries the day.
And that's true with the death penalty measures too. The more affirmative measure wins the day.
So that's the difference between 67 and 62. Excuse me, 66 and 62.
65 and 67. But we'll get to 67 in a minute. That may change your opinion a little bit.
Okay, well,
Number 66. Number 66. We oppose this. Increases risk that California executes an innocent person. This is a more procedural within the court system and would be moot should Proposition 62 pass. A yes vote supports changing the procedures governing state court appeals and petitions that challenge death penalty convictions and sentences. If this were to get more yes votes than 62, it would go into place and we still have the death penalty. So let's get rid of the death penalty and we won't have to worry about 66 at all. but let's oppose it anyway, even though it's procedural.
You gotta oppose it?
Yeah. Now we come to 67. 67 protects our state ban on plastic grocery bags, reducing plastic pollution, protecting wildlife and the ocean. The Democratic Party supports it. The first thing it does is it ratifies Senate Bill 270 that was established in 2014. What it says is the state of California can and will charge for plastic bags when necessary, when it wants to. No matter what 65 says, we're still going to charge for the plastic bags. Prohibits large grocery stores and pharmacies from providing plastic single-use carry-out bags and bans small market stores, convenience stores, and liquor stores from doing so the following year. It puts a ban on giving away plastic bags. It does allow single-use plastic bags for meat, bread, produce, bulk food, and perishable items. It mandates, if you pass it, to charge 10 cents for recycled, compostable, and reusable grocery bags. It exempts consumers using a payment card or voucher issued by the California Special Supplemental Food Program from being charged for bags. If you get an EBT card, then you won't be charged for bags, but I think everybody here in the room will be charged for bags. The money collected by us ratifying SB 214 will provide $2 billion to the state plastic bag manufacturers for the purpose of helping them retain jobs and transition to making thicker, multi-use recycled bags. So you're going to take the money that you pay for your plastic bags and you're going to help the industry make better plastic bags. So 67 to me, and I got this from Ballotpedia, basically ratifies that you will be charged for plastic bags in jurisdictions that charge for plastic bags. I do not know why the state of California Democratic Party supports this. Well, environmental for sure. A lot of environmental groups approve this. Being an environmentalist that I am, I can certainly understand. As long as my 10 cents does not go into 65, which would give the money to the retailer, I guess I can help the environment. Not too much to ask, but of course when we all have reusable bags, the cloth bags, we won't need plastic bags anymore. We can just go to the store with them.
Exactly.
So that's another way to deal with it. But if you